Holy mama. That's a lot of patch notes. Big buffs, big nerfs, big changes. I'm actually really excited. One of the first things I want you guys to know, because I know we're all waiting on us to get to the juicy section. Off rip, I want you to know that somebody fumbled this patch note. How did they do that, Smack? The red is the buffs, the green is the nerfs. I don't know whose man's it was, but if you see red, that means it was actually a buff, not a nerf. But if you see green, which usually we would go, oh, that's a buff. No, that's a nerf. Okay, so that's something that's pretty important to mention. Another thing that I saw, we'll just save it for later. I'm so excited to go over this. All right, let's do it, boys. New character debut. All right, we already saw this in their previous update. They showed 2 new characters coming to the game. This is one of them. I believe, if I remember correctly, she's like a combination of like Kraken and Marvel, I believe. She can freeze and she can also manipulate turn meter, and she's an SSR. She's coming out. She'll be going in the permanent banner along with the rest of the standard SSRs and some limiteds. And this is a SR character. This is going to be Grim Fist Mizuki Makoto. She is a water element. And she's supposed to be, I believe, a defensive support character wielding Dispel as her spear and counter attack as her shield. So you'll be slapping Bramble on her. I will say I love the yin and yang inside of her fist. That's pretty cool. Flat Cheek Pancake Booty Chronicles, though. All right, keep continuing on. United Front. Remember that one mode we've been like waiting to see what the details are? I'm gonna be going in and out. Keep in mind this is the test server, but like remember this one mode we've been waiting on right here? Yeah, we finally got the details on that. It's right here, and it's pretty much guild PvP, but like the mode where you're only going up against somebody's defense. It's going to be going up against other guilds' defensive setups. Okay, so once your union, your guild reaches level 6, which is not that hard to do, it'll be unlocked. But it only starts 2 weeks after the launch. So there's a 2-week down period once the game launches, and then this mode will become available. And then once you hit level 6, those are all the conditions. Boom, now you can play this mode. Matched unions will compete by launching simulated attacks on each other's defenses to earn cooperative battle points. The union with the highest points will claim victory, and then wins and losses after affect your union rank. So if you lose, your rank can go down. If you win, obviously rank goes up. Higher ranks unlock advanced union badges and union banners. So yeah, it seems like union PvP, but like you're not actually, it's not real time. You're just going up against people's certain defense setups. And they did show a little picture right here. I'm gonna be honest, I'm only using like my intuition here. I can only imagine. It says Etheria Go versus Etheria, Reserve Union 1, Reserve Union 2. So I guess you have a bunch of little stations, and they have their little stations. And I can only imagine that you just click on a station and go at it, you know? So yeah, that's pretty cool. This is an event. I don't really care. Monopoly. That's what it looks like. Revelation Wish Orb. Make some wishes. Cool. If they showed the shop, I'd be more inclined to go over it, but they didn't show the shop prices. So events for me is just something I'll find out when the game launches. I'll go in there and take a gander at them, you know? This one here is pretty cool though. It's because it's skins, I believe, for your little guy. This little dude right here, you can now like do a draw and get like little skins for him. Anytime I see outfit skins, I'm thinking that's cool. This was crazy. This shit blew my mind. At first I was like mind fucked because I was like, wait, we're getting 2 more characters? But then I realized I don't think we're getting these characters yet. I think, holy spoilers, you know, I think that's what it is. They kind of like teased you with these characters that are probably coming in the future. But they also revealed information to know simultaneously. Once again, I don't think these, because I haven't seen these, or they up like earlier up here, they literally just said, here you go, new character debut, right? So like if we were getting those other 2, then they would have been shown up here. I think they're showing them once again, not only to tease you, but show you like the expectations of how hard they're gonna cook with the skins. Because I'll be honest, bro, these skins look pretty damn sick, bro. Like, look at them. Wait, you know what? I actually can't tell. I think these are their base form, and these are the skins. Yeah, because look, his skin is now like completely black. And her outfit is a bit different over here. She also has black hair. Okay, so never mind then. I'm gonna keep it a stack, guys. Listen, y'all know me, I'm blunt as hell. I think the base looks better. If this is their base, I think the base looks better, bro. This shit look clean. They cooked hard with these. Look at these. Look at this girl's fucking swords, bro. They look sick. And she's wind and he's fire. Yeah, they look super cool. Okay, my bad. ADHD moment. Surprise moment. Limited time up Pool exclusive event pages are now open. So during a featured character's limited time up period, so I would imagine what they're trying to say is, like you see limited time Freya, limited time this guy. I think what they're saying is the future characters, which, holy spoilers, I think it's gonna be these two. The next patch is probably gonna be these two right here. They're gonna be the limited up characters, I guess the targeted banners up for a certain amount of time before they go into the standard, right? You're gonna have an event exclusive page over here where the events are that you can go to, and they'll have bundles for people who want to spend money to purchase those bundles, and then they'll have the skins that you can buy. Now, these vouchers right here are called Hydra vouchers, and you can get them, I believe, by purchasing things in the game. So you purchase certain things in the game, you're gonna get a certain amount of these vouchers. Now, I'm gonna be honest, they need to be a bit more informative on the conversion here, because ain't no way in hell anybody spending $68 on these skins. There's just no way. So I don't think the Hydra voucher is going to be a 1-to-1. This is 15 standard summons, right? They only cost 100 to do a single summon. And if there's 15 of those with like a little bit more resource, like this probably got to be like 15 bucks, 10 bucks. They're not showing the prices. I'm just guessing. Which means if you spend like 10 bucks or something to get this bundle, then you get 68 Hydra vouchers on top of that. And then you use those 68 to purchase these characters. Once again, this is not fact. Okay. I am literally just using intuition here. I'm like, okay, 68 over there. I see 68, you buy the bundle. But I think the Hydra voucher, the way it functions is anytime you spend money on anything in the game, you get a Hydra voucher for it, right? So if I buy a $5 login, you probably get the Hydra voucher, and then you get enough eventually to just buy skins or whatever the hell you want to buy in the game. That seems to be the case as I'm looking at this. Once again, they need to be a bit more informative. This picture, for like monetary purposes, didn't serve enough, platter information wise for me to like know what I'm looking at. But this looks pretty cool. I like skins. Y'all know me, I'm a skin whore. Don't care about the bundles. But if you can give me some type of bundle where I could get both the skin and some pulls, then hey, you're kind of speaking my language in that regard. But yeah, that is another thing that is happening. Guaranteed SSR has been reduced from 100 pity down to 80 pity. Once again, that's going to be these two banners right here have both been reduced down to 80 instead of 100 pulls for pity. Pool history can now be filtered to view all pools or the current pool records. This was a freaking big one because you would come over here and you would say, what's my summon record? And it literally combined every summon you've ever made, regardless of if the banner was different, right? This costs 300 to do a pool. This costs 100. You don't want the fucking pools to be on the same thing. They fixed that. So now you don't have to worry about the confusion there. That was very, very important. Added a Hydra voucher as a purchasable item, official website recharge, allowing players to buy sufficient vouchers at once for continuous in-game bundle or item purchases. That's that shit I just told you. This right here is the Hydra voucher. Added a region protection period for Summit Arena, matching players only within the same region for the first 15 days after official launch. For the first 15 days, region lock. And then after that, they open up the regions. Why? I don't feel like thinking that hard. Maybe you guys know the answer to that. Added a ban protection mechanism for Summit Arena. Matches where both players that are above Diamond 1, so I guess the condition is you have to be at least Diamond 1 or higher. Once you are Diamond 1 or higher, you can now do a pre-ban of one character and then a ban protection on the third character, which is the one in the middle, I believe. Added an attribute bonus preview for character ascension. Now that is interesting. Attribute bonus, element bonus, preview, I guess before you ascend a character. Does that mean you're getting an element increase? Huh? Does that mean you're gonna do a little extra damage when you ascend characters now? That might be pretty big. There's no other way for me to interpret that, is there? Element bonus, preview before you ascend the character. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I think of Genshin Impact, I think of the Hoyo games. If you're right before you ascend a character, they usually have an innate stat attached to them. Somebody have crit damage, some have this. Where in this game, it's just, I guess, an attribute bonus, which could be like an element or something. It's gonna go up when you ascend them. I don't know how else to interpret that. Call me crazy. Added early exit settlement rules for Affinity Train. Okay, that's an event. Don't really care right now. We can figure that out in the game. Language selection, clearance time, and team composition displays for anti-sync and Ember Trek modes in the leaderboard. That's huge because everything in this game has leaderboards, and like it's really fucking cool because I'll just give you an example right now. So if we come over here to like, so we go over here to challenge and we go to like Grim Pursuit, and let's say like you run into a wall, right? You're like, damn, I can't beat this person. You can click on this little book right here, and there's always gonna be like people's methods of what they did to clear it. Right now, these guys are like level 100 and shit, which is insane. But you can also like scroll down, go to like recent clear times maybe. Keep in mind, it's like a test server, right? But you can see somebody that's like level 30. Here we go. Oh, this person's level 30. Oh, I'm level 30. Okay, so this is more relatable for me. And then you can even click on it, press play, and watch how they cleared the run. So fucking insightful, especially for so many people who are gonna be trying to learn how to play this game. You can do that in all kind of modes, right? And so now they made sure to cover their board thoroughly. Right now you're gonna get it all across the board. Anti-Sync Heroes will have it, Ember Trek will have it, and so you'll have that information. That's really freaking cool. Added level display for avatars in the friends interface. Okay, so you can see people's levels next to their avatar. Added a sharing function upon first obtaining each SSR character. I think that's cool too. You can show people what your roster looks like. Added a keyboard layout compatible with French keyboards. Oh, they're trying to get the Claire Obscure team of 30 developers to come play their game. Give them a little game, you know? I'm just joking. Added a support for cross-region friend edition and private messaging. Okay, so and then now appearance and outfit adjustments. You can go take a look at all of that. Who cares? Here's the important part. Y'all know what time it is. Oh, our favorite part in every game, boys. I love doing it in Monster Hunter. I love doing it in shooters. I love doing it in battle royales, you know, PvP, you know. Buffs and nerfs. Starting off with my boy Chloros. Chloros is getting an 80% multiplier increase on his fucking like boss shredding 1v1 ass, basically. Bros, well, I don't know how he lost that fight to what's his name, Messiah, bro, because this guy is a 1v1 god. No, he really is. He's very, very good at specializing in boss fights. You can put this dude up against Terra Matan. You can put him up against the Union boss. You can put him up against any boss you're trying to get rid of that's not water. And you know, water, well, you'll have to find somebody else. This is the dude though, right? Right now, he's at a 400% multiplier. That's now gonna be 480. 80% multiplier. And the thing about this guy that's already cracked is every time he uses this skill, he gets a permanent 25% damage increase up to 100%. And then when he kills somebody, he just moves it over to somebody else. It's like the death penalty. It's so sick. I love this guy. He's awesome. And the cool thing about him is that it's per tick. So if you have characters on your team like my girl Rose be fucking tat. Those count on the ticks. It's only 10 of them. So if somebody hits 3 times, it's 7 of them, right? So this dude is a menace to boss fights. He's getting a buff, which is juicy. Veronica. This was a character that apparently, which I wasn't playing the game at the time, was broken, and then they like nerfed her, and then another beta came, and then she wasn't broken anymore. She was actually kind of cheeks, and now they're buffing her again. What's happening now is she's gonna have 100% chance to spread all of the buffs she steals to all of her allies. Whereas before, it was only a 50% chance to steal these buffs from the enemies and then spread it across her allies. And then it was even worse. It was calculated individually for each buff, which means you wouldn't be able to give your whole team all the buffs you stole like evenly. This girl got buffed big fucking time. Not only did they increase the chance factor to 100%, right? So, I mean, dude, even if people have effect resistance, you got a low effect accuracy in your build, negate that shit, she's applying it. If you don't build no effect accuracy at all, she probably still gonna apply it because 100% is pretty fucking broken in this game. Now, everybody has a fixed chance. We did get that information where everyone has a fixed chance of 10% resistance, which means you can only have up to a 90% chance to apply these type of debuffs. That said, 100% is fucking insane. So just with a little bit of effect accuracy, all I'm saying is this is pretty much damn near guaranteed. But yeah, the way it works is, sorry for yapping, you have now 100% chance to spread all the buffs that she steals. She does have an 80% chance to steal them. You have to steal them first. Keep that in mind. Once you do it though, now there's no extra, like now it's just 100%. And you're gonna spread all those buffs that she just stole from every single person on the other team to your team. And there's no individual. No, it just whatever she gets, everybody gets. We all eating. So now everybody's getting those buffs, which like I said, that is a galactic buff. That is an astronomical buff for Veronica. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be looking at picking her up now. There's a lot of situations where you're going to be going up against people, even PvP wise. Hell, that's not only good for PvP though, that's good for some of the fights in the game where there's a lot of buffs on their fucking other team. You can just strip them, put them on your team. Imagine somebody like Shiata. Imagine somebody like this freaking chick right here, man. This chick here is a monstrous DPS. She really is. And the way her freaking kit works is for every 3 buffs she gains, her soul flames evolve. And the evolve gives her a ridiculous amount of attack and crit damage. Well, imagine somebody like her stealing those buffs and just putting them all on this girl. I mean, she's going to hit. This girl's basically a 9-tailed fox, bro. She's basically Ari from League of Legends. It's like you're going to literally hit maximum like stacks. And then she just starts fucking ulting every turn. This girl is like a spam ulter. So that is, I'm gonna be honest, I can see Veronica and her in certain niche situations, like doing some disgusting shit. Water Mia, this is gonna be the healer girl. Well, I guess that's not very obvious, Smack. Everybody's a fucking healer girl in this game. This little girl right here, okay? She is also getting some nice little buffs. In fact, no, that's not a nice, that's a massive buff. Any skill cooldown buffs are massive, both ways, either positive or negative. Thankfully for her, it's now a 4-turn cooldown instead of a 5-turn cooldown. And then the healing has been increased as well. So huge W for Water Mia. Shiata, the girl I just showed you, the water girl, they gave her a buff. I was like, bro, what? Brother, that girl hits like a fucking truck and they gave her a buff. Now it's not insane, but I'm just shocked that she got any buff at all. So at the end of her skill, it deals an additional instance of damage. They gave her 10%. So nothing crazy, but dude, if only some of y'all knew how much damage she does, then you'd understand like she didn't even need that. Tiamat. Remember I told y'all, hey, see, Smack always knows what he's talking about. All right, I told y'all, if you're gonna choose that standard selector, it's gonna be Tiamat or Hellkid, bro. The tanks are just built different in this game. And well, I can't say none of us like didn't see this one coming. Now I will say, I think this was too big of a nerf, bro. 20% to her healing when she goes to her ultimate form. Holy fuck. No, I think I'm gonna be honest. I think 20% would have been fine. Maybe, I mean, now here's the thing. Good thing about games that get buffs and nerfs, they'll monitor it. She feels a little bit weak. The next patch, you'll see it go up to like 15%. But I'm gonna be honest, that's so big of a nerf. That kind of changes things for me. That does. That's too big of a nerf, man. And then the healing received went down by 1% as well. So that's huge. And dude, this can stack up to 20 times. So like that 1% is huge, man. Whew, those are some big nerfs. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I'm not feeling too confident about Tiamat after this. Because like she's living on the edge, bro. She's living life on the edge now, man. I don't know, boys. It's one of those like, and I'm gonna tell you right now, some of these changes, there's no way for you to call them like outright. You're just gonna have to see how they feel in game. I don't know. That one stung. Rahu, on the other hand, got some huge buffs. 30% scaling on his single enemy damage. Went up 30% of his defense. And then on top of that, his defense scaling for his Wrathful Form stacks that he gets by other people taking actions and he gets just by himself. Like, bro just gets them. That went up 1% and can stack up to 12 times. So that's huge. Big dick defense now. And then finally, he got another one where his basic attack damage output can now be stacked up to 40% higher. So he got some really juicy buffs. Cantus Lingluo, that's the healer. That's the little mermaid girl. My bad, bro. Hey, bro, dry your ears. They might be bleeding. Rockstar, before each heal has a 75% chance now to, okay, so she got some buffs. 10% chance to purify. I think that's nice, right? It's annoying that you gotta fucking have a chance to even purify, but hey, that's cool because she has immunity now and a little bit higher chance to to purify anything that does get past the immunity. And then 65 turned into a 75% chance to apply the well prayer. I believe that's the passive healing. So nice. Rosa, I'm gonna be honest, I saw that coming. Rosa, one of the things that's broken about Rosa, it's not just her single target damage, 30% crit rate and all that stuff. It's actually because she follows up so much with her auto attacks, right? And every time she crits, she has a chance to reduce that person's turn meter. which is pretty freaking like insane, especially when you compound her on a team where other people are reducing turn meter as well. You can just like keep them from going. This was I spent the most time in the entirety of this game with this character, so I know like everything about her. Yeah, I saw that nerf coming from a mile away. I did. In fact, I'm surprised they didn't put it down to 5%. I'm being honest. She's strong as shit, single target wise. Borgny, much needed buff, 60% multiplier given to Borgny. He doesn't crit at all. And to be honest, in the situations where you want him to wipe the board because there's more than 4 people on the field or 4 or more, he wouldn't. It did feel just a bit lackluster, not crazy, but a bit. So that buff, nice, sizable scaling for his attack percent being converted into HP. And then now the HP damage is getting increased as well. And then for his ult, the nuker, another damage increase. This all compounds, by the way. So now the 60% attack gets converted into HP. His damage is scaling off of his HP as well, the increase. And then of course the nuker gets an increase as well. So I think bro's gonna be, he's probably gonna feel like a proper nuker for those waves of like 4 to 5 people. He might even be good for Doki Doki now. He might be. I don't know. I mean, he ain't surpassing old girl, the fucking boo 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 boo, the wind hair girl. But dude, this is some sizable damage increase. I ain't gonna cap, bro. I think Borgny gonna be hitting like a truck. Puppet Master Lilith. This is the girl, the CC girl for Doki Doki. She can like put everybody like confusing and shit. I'll just go ahead and show it to y'all because I'm doing a terrible job explaining these characters. Her right here. This is Lilith right here. I believe they are buffing her. Yeah, it's a little small buff, but it's nice. It's her little bombs that explode. Now, most people are going to be using her just to CC the living shit out of Doki Doki, but that extra damage will help as well, which is nice. And this goes off for HP. Claws. Oh my God. Dude, Claws, to me personally, got a massive buff. At first I was reading it and I was like, lower speed? Oh, they took away the speed entirely? Bro, this is not a buff. What the fuck? This is a nerf. Then I saw. So they took away anything. She has this stacking mechanic, right? When she uses her ult and then she like gets these stacks called hacking progress. And the way that these stacks function is they increase the damage taken on the people that she hits with these stacks. And then they reduce the damage that those enemies can deal to you and your team by a certain amount too. In fact, once you get a certain amount of stacks, it then transforms into something called hack in, which is essentially raising the percentages. Increase the damage taken by 25%, reduce the damage dealt by 40%. This girl was like, for me, she was almost insane. But the thing that was holding her back was a fucking ramp up in stacks. Like, I don't want to ramp up so to like lower their speed. It would just be nice if she just lowered their speed, like period. They've now done that. Now when you pop her ult, instead of like ramping up the speed reduction, it just gives you straight up 30% speed reduction, which I'm gonna be real. I think this girl's value with that buff has went up tremendously high, because you got to understand, guys, she's doing so much already, right? Not only is she reducing the damage they can deal to your team while increasing the damage they receive, now immediately as soon as she ults, reduce their speed down, decrease their defense. Like, there's so much, and she stills a turn meter. I think this woman's value has went up monumentally high with what they just did. You might think I'm crazy, but the thing is, ramping up speed is annoying, right? The whole thing of a one-turn ult off rip is to get shit shaken immediately. So now that she can immediately take away their speed, that changes so much. It really does. So I think this girl is she's T0 unequivocally now for me. Like, not unequivocally, but she's really fucking good now with that buff that they gave her. I think she's a very strong pick. Freya, this is insane. I am just baffled. Maybe because I spent a lot of time with this character too. And so many times I was just swapping her out for other characters that did the job better. Other times, like, and I mean few situations, she was doing it the best. But more than often, I was taking her off the field. That said, they nerfed the fuck out of her with this, because like, this was guaranteed. Not only was it guaranteed, it ignored your effect resistance. It did not care what your effect resistance was, and it didn't even have a chance factor. It's just, hey, I'm gonna just go ahead and show y'all because this shit is blowing my mind that they nerfed her like she was just, I guess PvP wise, she might have just been that broken. I think that nerf might have single-handedly been brought upon us just because of PvP. Because in PvP, that's kind of broken, right? This girl, if your team, if the enemy receives, here it is right here. If the enemy receives any debuffs, any at all, she immediately reduces their turn meter. Doesn't matter what the resistances are, she doesn't care. So I guess in PvP, that was kind of absurd. But damn, bro. I think it was so unnecessary. I'm gonna be honest. I think they just killed any motivation for me to pull on this character. I do, because one of the biggest attractions for me was what they nerfed. Now she has a fucking 70% chance to apply this turn meter reduction, and she no longer ignores resistance based off of this, right? They just took that one out. There's a 70% chance to push back. Kind of stings, man. Yeah, Freya I'm gonna be honest, you guys might not think that, but like for me, it's like she got nerfed to the ground with that one nerf. Turandot, this is the girl with the Chakram blade. This was kind of broken because she dealt 4 instances of damage, right? 4 times she had a 30% chance to push back that target's turn meter by 30%. 4 times, right? Each attack having a 30% chance to push the target. Like, that's kind of broken. So they nerfed it down to 25%. And honestly, that's still really strong. I think that's a light tap. Chiaki, the healing version, got some heal buffs. That's it. Dina, this is one of my favorite debuffers in the game that buffs the hell out of your team's damage. They basically nerfed the hell out of her single target attack. Now the steal turn is only 15% instead of 25%. That's sizable. That's pretty sizable because she only has a 40% chance. So still strong, but a sizable chunk. Now on top of that, erosion, which was the 3rd debuff she would apply with her ultimate and her S2. Upon receiving the next crit, she was able to add true damage onto the attacker's attack, and then on top of that, increase their turn meter. They nerfed the turn meter increase down to 6%. Not too crazy, but I think, it's not too crazy. I'll be honest. Like, for me personally, I didn't even care about this part. I cared about everything else, all the other damage. So I think she's doing fine, man. This was kind of like a bit over the top. I think that's fair. Kraken, kind of annoying. I'm not gonna lie, because I love guaranteeing the freeze with Kraken. So now that they put them down to 65% chance for the turn meter manipulation, that's another important one. Then they also reduced your chance to apply the freeze down to 50% from 60%. And here's the thing, every time they nerf this, that means the base, before you even level up their abilities, gets nerfed too. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I don't even have them leveled up, right? See, he gets 60% once you level this up to like level 4. But if they're nerfing this down to 50, then that means the base one now is going to be 40. Now he has a 40% chance before you put any investment in him to land the freeze. That's pretty fucking sizable. It's kind of, you know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. You could just run like double effect accuracy, which is what I do. And it can turn that 40 into 80. But dude, it's still like, there's going to be a lot more times I feel where you're just going to be missing the freeze, which is fucking annoying. So I think that was a pretty sizable nerf. Sonya, she just got her healing nerfed. That's it. Fixed an issue where Sonya could still trigger passive healing, even though she was stunned, frozen, petrified, and slumber. Damn, that's kind of cracked. Holy hell. That's pretty cracked. I don't know if I ever noticed that, but yeah, her healing just got nerfed a bit. That's all. Marvel. Oh my God. Yeah. This one was, I was expecting his single target to get nerfed to 15 because I was one of them people who abused the shit. I wouldn't even use his S2, the fucking silence. I never used it. I would just auto attack and keep pushing them back because his auto attack can just take their turn meter by 25%, make himself faster. So I just kept doing that over and over and over again. They reduced it down to 15%. Honestly, deserved. This is the one that hurt me the most. They increased his ult cooldown a turn. Which, bro, I'll be honest, you already got to work quite a bit to cast his ult a second time in a run. And that second time for me has saved me a lot of times in pushing through some of these modes, man. That second ult, I'm like, oh, thank God. Yeah, I'm gonna feel that one. And if that wasn't annoying either, they've also nerfed his turn meter potency on when he ults down 10% as well, which once again, if you haven't put any investment in them, now it's going to be a 30% turn meter reduction, where it used to be a base 40% reduction. So yeah, sizable nerfs to Marvel. I still think he's going to be doing his job, but I think now, whereas Marvel was good, even if the fight would draw out because he'd get that second ult, I think now it's just one ult, not as strong, but strong enough. And if you ain't got the fight done by the time, you know, a couple turns go by, bro, you're cooked. And Marvel's job is not working anymore. So that's the best way for me to explain that one. I still think he's very valuable. I do. I still think he's insanely valuable. But Kloss, oh dear God, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I think now if I have a Kloss, bro, defense down, speed down, increased damage, reduced damage. Holy fuck, bro. I think now Kloss is gonna be my go-to, bro. Yeah, I think she's the highest valued pick for me. Victor. Okay, he got a massive damage increase nerf. So for every 10% of his HP that's lost, right? So that means if he has 10% HP remaining, that's a 9 times multiplier. Increased damage dealt by 15%. That's what it used to be. Now bumped all the way down to a 9% multiplier. So now Brother Man is only gonna be dealing a 9% increase per 10% HP loss. That's 6% deficit per 10% HP loss. That's massive. That's a massive buff. I mean nerf. Fixed an issue where Puppet's Fury could stack multiple shields. You know what's funny? I thought that was I didn't know that was a bug. That's also a nerf, because he was stacking the hell out of them shields. His ult would be up before the other shield would run out. So you just use it again, give a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's a sizable one too, even though they're listing it as a bug. Victor got hit. I don't know. We'll have to see how his damage looks now that this is in the equation. Dorothy fixed an issue where this skill was not being cast during auto battle. Okay. Number 41 got nerfed. Bro, how you gonna nerf the 3-star, man? How you gonna nerf the 2? How you gonna nerf the regular? To be fair, bro, this is one hell of a I think a lot of people might be hurt by this, because a lot of people were investing in this regular this R. You know, there's R, SR, SSR. She's just an R, and you can get max dupes on them effortlessly. 15% is that's pretty sizable, bro. I don't know how she's gonna feel after that one. Now finally, the shells, they nerfed and buffed some shells too. In fact, no, there's only nerfs. They nerfed White Fang's damage down 30%. That is going to be the little ninja. I'll go ahead and show you guys that. Or this, I think it's not a ninja, he's a samurai. This guy. So they nerfed him down 30% from his little proc, but they didn't nerf his crit damage stacks. So not too bad. Artisan, they nerfed the shield that he would give. So this dude would give a thick shield. They've nerfed that now. He's not going to give as big of a beefier shield. Codex of Magic. I thought this was insane, actually. So Codex of Magic and Amber, it says skills cannot have their cooldown reduced. Guys, I think what that means is, I think it's a counter to Lily. Call me crazy. I don't know this factually. But if it says skills cannot have their cooldown increase, because it's taken into factor once you level them up all the way, then I think Lily's ult will no longer extend the cooldown on the skills. That's the only way I could interpret that. I don't know what the fuck else that would mean. Skills, or I don't know. What else would that mean? You know what I mean? Because there's an 8-turn cooldown on this over here. So it's also possible that skills cannot have their cooldown reduced. Maybe it's talking about the cooldown, the internal cooldown of the abilities themselves on the shells. I'm not sure. There wasn't enough information on this. I could be wrong about the Lily counter. It also might just be that there's no way to expedite their cooldown. I'm not sure. That was a little weird. Twilight Knight, this is the little bee stinger that shreds your defense. They just nerfed its damage a bit. I think it was fair because it already gives you a defense shred. And then Diamond Heart, before the main body axe, that's like the weaker version of the red guy who gives you the shield. Nerfed that more some well. So and everything else is like a bunch of adjustments and shit. Overall, man, dude, monumental changes. Monumental changes, guys. I'll be honest though, I think the biggest highlights, Shiata getting any kind of damage increase is pretty insane to me. Veronica and Kloss. Oh, Chloros too. Those 4, W's. They got some W's. I'm happy that Hellkit didn't get touched because I like Hellkit. Bro's been holding it down for me. But you guys comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Peace, love, and happiness. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side.